We're going to rank the worst to best business ideas for beginners using this, a business tier list, which I got my arts and crafts on for, which is cool. D list, you want to avoid right away in the beginning, and S, you definitely want to pay attention to. So let's dive right in with this first one, which is write a book. And yes, all of these here on this tier list, I have done in some way, shape, or form before, including write a book. I've written 4, and my 4th one actually comes out this June. And this one in particular took 2.5 years. Will It Fly took 2.5 years. Superfans just took 1 year. And then I have another book that took about a year as well. It takes a lot of time and energy. Time and energy that you could better spend as a beginner building relationships, creating content, learning how to show up online, and also learning about your audience and target market and what they need help with. It's not that expensive to write a book. In fact, all you need to get started is just like a Google Doc or something and just start writing. But it takes a long time. A book is a heavy, heavy project and something that you do not want to get involved with right at the start. Yes, some people may argue it will help you with authority. Sure, once you have a book, yes, you can do things with that, but there's other ways to build authority too that are faster, quicker, smarter, and cheaper. So we're going to focus on those later. For now, let's go on to number 2 here on the D list here, invent a product. And yes, this is something that I've done as well. It is so much fun, but it took 2.5 years to get an idea from here through prototyping, through manufacturing, through patenting, all the way to market. Now, the Switch Pod, which is this tripod right here that opens up real nicely and closes real nicely. This thing was so much fun, and it's still selling on Amazon right now, and it's really cool. Generated some money for us, especially at the launch. We generated $418,000 with over 4,000 backers in February of 2019. My partner and I, Caleb, don't regret spending that time learning how to do that. But if we're just starting out, I mean, imagine taking 2 years to actually invent and create something. Plus, it was very expensive. Getting some help on Kickstarter from backers definitely was helpful, but it is massively expensive to invent something from scratch, which I know a lot of us want to do, especially if we have more of a niche audience who needs some help with something. There are other ways to serve that audience besides inventing something. There is something to be said with like having something tangible in somebody's hand. I've seen this in the wild before, and it's just been so cool to see. It's like a real product. People get value from it the moment they purchase it and use it. But as a beginner, it is a huge endeavor to undertake, and it's so much easier once you build that audience first. As a creator, that is the most important thing in the beginning, which is to build that audience, build that credibility with them, and then move on to monetization, like we're moving on to now the C tier. These are ones to mostly avoid. It might be useful for you in special occasions, but let's start with this one here, and that is create a software. Boy, do I have some stories to tell you about creating a software, wasting tens of thousands of dollars because I thought I could create something that could automate something for somebody. You hear a lot of stories about people who have created software, people who have gone on to become millionaires because they've developed a tool that once created could work over and over and over again. That's the dream. You get passive income from people purchasing that thing and using it and staying involved with it for years. And yes, that can happen, but as a beginner, especially if you don't have any experience in the software space, it could be a huge time suck and a huge waste of money. I recently spent about $20,000 trying to develop a product, and even as a seasoned entrepreneur who has an audience already, it just didn't work out. But I could have done more research and maybe not jumped into it so fast, which is what I'm hoping you don't do when it comes to potential software ideas that you may have. There's a requirement for a lot of upkeep in software. It can be very expensive. And even if you don't go down the investment route with it, you go down a partnership route. Well, now you're giving up some control, and there's other people involved when there's a lot of opportunities that are elsewhere for you as a beginner building an audience online. So let's keep going. Next on the C tier list is live in-person events. Creating a live in-person event is such an amazing thing to do. I've actually hosted an event in San Diego for entrepreneurs back in 2019. After COVID, then I launched a business called Card Party, where on my Pokemon channel, which you might know about, called The Pocket Monster, with over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, we have some events during the year called Card Party, where we bring the community together. And number one, it is massively expensive and hard to coordinate. Number two, it definitely takes time away from other things. In fact, we usually see a lull on Deep Pocket Monster because my time is focused on making sure that's the best event possible versus continuing to put content in on Deep Pocket Monster and on YouTube. It's happened every single year so far. So I'm going to hopefully do better this year with having some stuff recorded beforehand. But anyway, that's my problem. And again, as a beginner, it's very difficult to get people to show up to something if they don't trust you or don't even know who you are yet. You want to work on building those relationships, getting the word out there, helping people understand what your specialty is, then and only then could you potentially try to have a group of people. And it doesn't have to be big. You could have a live event with a smaller group of people. Card Party has a few thousand people show up every single time, but nonetheless, a live event is very, very difficult to coordinate. It's definitely easier when you have other people involved. And again, it's a big time suck. It is something to work toward, not something to start with. So let's move on. Next on the C tier list, we have merch sales. Merch sales are very difficult if you are just starting out. You need to build brand loyalty. You need to build your brand and personal brand in order for merch to be worth your time. Now, that being said, there are websites out there that can help you create merch really easily, right? You get your logo slapped on there. They put it on a mug, on a t-shirt, on some sort of hat, and that's great. You could sell a few of those things. And if you happen to have the opportunity to perhaps take an afternoon to set that up just so it's there, yes, you can make a few dollars here and there. It helps your loyal fans in the beginning of your journey. That's fantastic. But in terms of a viable business model that's going to support you and your family and your lifestyle, merch sales are something that are going to work really well for larger audiences. And again, something to work toward. Merch sales are often a thing that people start with because it's just what you see a lot of other bigger creators do. But they've got that big audience to sell to. And merch sales are something that's still a part of what I do on Deep Pocket Monster. It does generate revenue, but there are better opportunities to generate revenue, especially if you are a beginner. So let's keep going. Next up, after merch sales, white labeling a product. So white labeling a product, as opposed to inventing your own product like the SwitchPod here, means taking a product that already exists, likely it is in another country and it just doesn't have a label on it, and you put your white label on it. It doesn't have to be a white label per se, but that's just what this is called. A lot of people who utilize Amazon to do this very well and can make a lot of revenue. However, it is a completely separate business model that includes not just making sure you have the right manufacturers who have quality and care in their manufacturing process, which requires a lot of research. It also requires customer service. All this other stuff is involved that is just a lot. It's a lot. That being said, a lot of people do enjoy and succeed with it. But again, as a beginner, so much easier when you have a product that you can fit into an audience, not having an audience that you try to fit into an existing product, if that makes sense. Start with the audience, then build some of these solutions versus build a solution and then try to find the audience for it. You need to focus on building your audience, and there are better ways to monetize even a smaller audience as opposed to something like white labeling a product, selling it on Amazon, and then there's so much competition on there right now, especially it's something that, again, is going to take you away from a lot of other activity that can help you generate more passive revenue. So let's move on up to the B list here on our tier list, starting with a newsletter. I love newsletters. We're getting into the digital products now, which is great. And a newsletter is a simple one, some form of a subscription to get access to special information or insider exclusive tips that you can only offer there. Yes, you may be building an audience publicly on a platform, but in order to get your exclusive content, they have to pay for it. There are a lot of people selling newsletters on places like Kit and Substack and other platforms that do newsletters. And those people specialize in something. And when you specialize in something, a few things happen. Number one, you could build your audience much faster because there's less competition and people can see that you are talking directly to them. Number two, they're going to want more information from you, information that you could charge to get access to in something like a newsletter. There's a lot of tools out there that can help you get set up for a newsletter and selling into that, like Kit and several others. And it's something where if you have some insider information or something that would be worthwhile for somebody to pay to get access to, this could be very easy because it's simply an email newsletter. I know a few people who are generating 5 figures a month because of the number of people who subscribe to get their early stock tips or something like that, right? So it doesn't have to be in the monetization space. I know some people who share tips with artists, some chefs who share some recipes. These people can generate revenue by putting those things behind a paywall, and a newsletter is an easy way to do that. But you still need some top of funnel leads. You still need to get out there and build that audience. And in order to get this to a larger number, right, you can't charge, well, normally you can't charge hundreds of dollars to get access to a newsletter unless that maybe the content in there is worth that much. In general, though, in order for a newsletter to do very well for a business model, it's something where you're going to need quite a bit of leads to come into, right? So you're going to need some free leads coming in and some of those free leads converting into paid leads, which does take time and it takes energy to understand how that works. But once you automate that and understand how to get people from free and nurture to subscription and paying, then it could work out really well. You can focus on more top of funnel, getting on social, getting more people into that free list, which pours people into that paid list, and you could generate recurring revenue in that way. And I know a lot of people who are doing that, but it does take a little bit of work, which is why it's sort of in the middle here. So let's keep going here on the B list, we have virtual events. So unlike live in-person events, which are very, very difficult to coordinate, virtual events can be amazing because you can bring a lot of people together in an online space, which is much, much easier to do, much, much cheaper than an in-person event. And you can have people from all around the world attend and pay to get access to it, or get in for free, watch it, and then pay for the replay or other bonuses on top of that. There's a lot of other business models that can add on top of this, which I'll talk about later, but one of them as a preview is affiliate marketing. If you bring an expert in or something who has something to sell, if you have enough people attend this thing and buy from that person, then you can get a cut or revenue share from that person or a commission, right? A lot of traffic can come not just from you, but from these other people that you coordinate to come together, almost like speakers, but at a virtual event that, again, is so much easier to attend and be a part of. In addition, you can potentially have sponsors sponsor that event and even bring some leads into that space as well. So virtual events is something that I've run before. It still takes a little bit of coordination, but it is something that is beautiful because if you're just starting out, as long as you're good at bringing people together, that is of value and you can generate revenue in that way. I know some people who are actually doing just virtual events to generate revenue and it's working really well, but their superpower is collaboration, connection, and partnership. So if that sounds like you, this is something that you might be able to do. You might be able to step up in a particular industry and wrangle those people together and actually charge to get access to those experts and or get a commission from whatever it is that they may be selling while they're there speaking. So virtual events can work really well. So let's keep going here. Last one in the B list is speaking. So instead of just coordinating events and going to either a live one or perhaps a virtual one, actually going to events yourself and speaking, getting up on stage, virtual or in person, and actually delivering some value there. You might be able to get paid to come and speak. You might be able to get your travel accommodated for as well, and or you might be able to sell something on stage as well. I've done all of the above, but the best thing to do is just go in there, understand who it is you're speaking to, provide a ton of value, and over time, especially if you are a great speaker and that's something you can learn your way into, I definitely recommend checking out something like Speaker Lab from my buddy Grant Baldwin. That's where you can learn how to become an amazing speaker and also get paid to go to different conferences and events. And it's a win for everybody. You get paid to go there, you get to travel, you get to deliver value. And if you have a product on the opposite end of that, or you want to just build email lists from those speaking gigs, that can happen too. And it's a lot of fun. Lastly, in addition, you can actually build a lot of authority by being on a stage. Make sure you bring a camera or a camera person to record yourself on stage because not a lot of people are going to be going down that route. And as a result, you are going to look more authoritative. And if two people are the same, but one speaks in public and the other one doesn't, I'm definitely going to gravitate toward the one who speaks in public. Definitely a skill worth working on that is going to be relevant, not just for actual live on stage things, but you in front of a camera as well. And the cool thing is, public speaking is something that you can learn to do. I was not a great communicator before, but I learned my way into it. I paid coaches to help me, and I've since been paid over $500,000 to go up on stages and speak all over the world, which is super fun, and I never thought was going to be possible, but it definitely is, and it's super fun too. And by the way, if you are at an event, go to the green room as a speaker. The green room is where the other speakers and VIPs kind of hang out before the event or away from the crowd. That is where a lot of the top relationships can be built for you in the space that you're in. Great connections can be made. The green room is where you want to go. And there's a lot of value, even if you speak for free, to go to those events and make those connections and partnerships there in the green room. So let's move on from the green space and move up to the orange A. Starting with, and these are the opportunities now that are going to be really, really good, especially if you are a beginner, and that is done for you services. Doing the thing your audience just needs done that is inconvenient for them on your own. This is definitely not passive whatsoever. But if you have an audience of 10 people and one of them needs help with something that you know how to do because you're an expert or you researched it or you understand how this works, it's inconvenient for them, they can pay you. You could do a done for you service. If you are a copywriter, you could write stuff for somebody. If you are a graphic designer, you could graphic design for somebody. If you're somebody who is a cleaner, you can go clean somebody's house. This is one of the easiest ways to generate revenue. Where it kind of falls short is that you are trading your time for money. But in the beginning, that's likely what you're going to have to do. Somebody can pay you a certain amount of money to do the job, and every time you could do the job better, and it's up to you whether or not you want to expand your team and have other people do that instead of you as you go out there and market and build a name for yourself and your brand. Sure, but you could take it in many different directions. But all I'm saying is it is an easy and simple way to generate revenue. Your audience needs help with something. You know how to do it. Hey, if you pay me this much, I'll do it for you. Everybody wins. Over time, you can optimize how quickly it takes to do this, or have other people do it for you as a team, as a agency or something. And this is where you can begin to start to remove yourself from the process and build your business and empire. Now, that's going to come later, but again, at the start, finding somebody who needs help, you help them in exchange for cash or money, boom, everybody's happy. Now, another great opportunity for beginners is to think about monetization from other companies in this way: sponsorships and brand deals. Now, you might be thinking, Pat, if I'm a beginner and I don't have a large audience, how in the world or why would a company be interested in working with me? Because right now, it's not about how big your audience is. It's about the quality of that audience you're building, the loyalty that they have to you. For example, there's a guy in the SPI community, the community that I and several members of my team lead to help people like you build businesses that change your lives. Wojcik is his name. He is the host of the Fire Science Show podcast. He has a very small audience. In fact, most of his episodes get 500 to 800 downloads, which is very small in the world of podcasting. However, he was able to land a sponsorship deal that earns him more than his day job just from his little Fire Science show, because it is so specific and so niche to exactly what he's doing that his audience is the exact audience that certain companies want to get in front of. So he's able to generate a lot of revenue through these brand deals and sponsorships. It is something to start thinking about. It might be a little bit more difficult at the start, which is why it's not in the S tier, but it's something to start thinking about. What products are you already using to do what you need to do? Instead of just waiting till you have this large audience to start building these relationships with these companies, you can start them now. You should reach out to them, let them know that you are a user and fan of their product, and to see if there's any relationships that could be built there. Maybe some sort of partnership or affiliate relationship, or at the very least, they can give you early access to products that you can share with your audience that then again gets you more authority over time with them and gets you more in with that company too. So things to think about, something not to sleep on, especially as a beginner. What other companies and products that are out there that would be a perfect fit? Go out, reach out to them, go to events if you can, and start speaking to people there. Get to know who they are. That's going to give you a huge advantage over others who are in the same space as you. Let's finish off the A list here with affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is one of my favorite ways to generate revenue, and you should start now. You don't even need an audience yet, because that audience can come later, but you're planting these seeds that can grow as your audience grows. For example, you might recommend a product that you use already with an affiliate link that ties that link to you so that when anybody purchases, you get a commission from that company. It might be through Amazon, it might be directly through that company. And as your audience grows, as you go out there and start recommending these products that again are there to help serve your audience, not only are people going to be clicking on those things, but your audience will be happy that you have recommended something. You have curated all the noise that is out there and said, no, this is the product for you, or this is what's going to help you achieve blank. For example, in the Pokemon space, I recommend a particular binder company, VaultX, and I have an affiliate relationship with them. If anybody purchases through my affiliate link or uses my affiliate code, I get a commission. And guess what? I've earned over 5 figures as a result of pushing a binder that I use and would probably push out anyway. Here on this channel, we promote tools like Kit or Circle if you're starting a community, or Stan if you're literally starting from scratch and just want to set up a quick store online. These are companies that will pay a commission, which is really cool. The hard part about affiliate marketing is making it more than just like, hey, go try this. You want to integrate these products into your brand, much like how we've integrated Stan with our Smart From Scratch course. By the way, if you are still not sure which niche you want to target, you should definitely check out our Smart From Scratch course. That will help you nail your niche and discover which direction to go down and how to start building and even get to your first dollars online. And it's totally free. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/smart, you will go and check that out. And that is the smart thing to do. And you're going to see that Stan Store is actually integrated into that course as one of the steps as you begin. So again, it's just a part of the process. People go through it and we get paid as a result, and everybody wins because this is a very helpful tool, like the tools and products that you should recommend to your audience as well, even right at the start. The last thing I'll say about affiliate marketing is that it's actually technically very easy to do. You find a referral link or a partnership program or some sort of affiliate program for a company, you could sign up and you could start promoting stuff. But the reason it's gotten a little bit of a bad rap over the years is because people will abuse how easy it is. They'll find a product that has a lot of money coming their way if they earn a commission, and they just start sending it to their audience that doesn't even care about that thing. And as a result, not only are they not generating revenue, but they're also losing that respect from that audience and the reputation that they built, and that trust goes away. You always want to make sure you start with what is the problem that you're solving for your audience? What is the inconvenient thing that you're trying to help them solve? Find products that support that. And the beauty of affiliate marketing is these products probably already exist. You don't need to spend the time to create them. So now that we're here, let's go to the S tier, the superior list here. And that is, starting with online courses. I absolutely love online courses, not only because it's helped me earn over $5 million since 2017 when I started them, but because it is still something that works today, that is relatively easy to set up once, and then you can just continue to promote it over and over again. You need to make sure that these courses are up to date. You need to make sure that these courses are relevant and related to the problems that your target audience wants to solve, but a person will pay for information because there's so much information out there, it's overwhelming. They'll pay for your information because they've built trust with you. You know that you're helping them achieve something faster. Because again, it's not about how long or how many videos are inside of these courses. It's how quickly can a person get a result. And you can create these courses so fast. You can actually create an online course right now on Stan if you wanted to and just start uploading videos right now. They just have to help a person solve a problem. We have over a dozen courses inside of our SPI community that have helped people through everything from affiliate marketing, email marketing, starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, and they all work to help people do that. So you need to make sure that your courses do the same. But I would start with one. And the way that I would sell it is to actually walk people through that process and start sharing those success stories. The best way to sell your online course is to share the results of other people who have taken that online course. So if you're just starting out and you're a beginner, before you even create the actual online course, walk a person through your process or framework to achieve whatever it is the goal is. Help them do that. Work with them. It's going to help you A, find the person, B, learn how to work with them, and C, not just get you a testimonial, but it'll unlock that confidence for you to go out there and start selling that course because you know it can be helpful. You can change lives and sell and serve at the same time. So online courses, great option. Create it once. It can just be sold over and over again. Next, in addition to online courses in the S tier, coaching. In fact, this is probably the most popular way to generate the most revenue in a short period of time because you just need one person, one client to pay you to get access to not a done-for-you service, but some guidance and some help. Many people will pay to make sure they don't make mistakes. Many people will pay to make sure they have somebody who is an expert or has done something before show them how it's done so they could just get it, again, done faster or the right way. You're noticing a theme here with a lot of these things we're creating as a business, right? They help people. They help people solve a problem. They help people do something more conveniently. And in this case, they help people by guiding them, by a coach, and you hold those people accountable. That is, in fact, the more important thing about coaching that gets results. It's not like diving in and telling people what to do. In fact, that's the worst thing you can do as a coach, is just go in there and say, do this, do this, do this. You might as well create an online course if that's the case. An amazing coach investigates, goes deep, asks the right questions. In fact, I have a book recommendation for you. It's called The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay-Stanier. And it is by far the most life-changing book I've ever read when it comes to how to coach people. It gives you the ideas of what questions you should be asking and how to make their answers turn into something that can help them take action. Because that's what you want your students or kids, for that matter, do. I use a lot of the tactics in The Coaching Habit to raise my kids with my wife. So The Coaching Habit, definitely check that out. But using something like Stan Store, you could literally charge for 30 minutes of your time, 1 hour of your time to just help a person understand what they're going through, how to get some help, and then hold them accountable to that. That's what's going to help them get that result. Hey, we're going to check in next week. I want to see how far you've come, or by the end of the month, I want to see you XYZ, whatever it might be. Coaching is an incredible way to generate revenue. Now, again, coaching is not passive. You're paying for your time, but coaching can lead to things like online courses. Coaching can include things like affiliate marketing because you're recommending certain products to help a person get a result. It is an amazing starting place for beginners where you can generate revenue tomorrow. You could just ask any audience members that you have if they would pay you for X number of minutes or X number of hours to get a certain result and just see what happens. Cool. All right. Next, digital products. Now, again, let's reverse engineer. What is the problem that you are solving for your audience? If you can develop a template, a spreadsheet, some sort of worksheet or workbook to help them achieve that goal, that is amazing because you can digitize that product. You can sell it over and over again on, again, a tool like Stan, for example. And it's something that can just continually not just bring you more customers, but bring you more customers that you can lead into a lot of these other things that we just talked about, right? A person purchases this template to learn how to run a marathon, for example. Cool. You have your workout and daily running plan all figured out. Great. And you can reach out to them and say, hey, you got the template, how's it going? Oh, it's not working really well. I think I need a coach or something. Well, guess what? I also offer coaching too. Or, hey, I just don't know what kind of protein powder to use after my workouts. Cool, well, I have an affiliate link for this protein powder here. So these digital products, they can generate some revenue, yes, but they also generate leads that lead to other things too. And that's why exactly they're so powerful. I remember my coach when I first sold my first ebook online to help architects pass an online exam. It was an ebook to help people pass the LEAD exam. My online business coach said, okay, so what happens after that? And I said, hopefully they pass. And they said, is that it? You could lead them into an online course to go even deeper, or you can lead them into an in-person event if you wanted to. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're expanding my brain for just how useful an online digital product can be to open up doors to other revenue for the same person. Because I once heard that your best customer is your existing customer, especially if you've already helped them in some regard, they're gonna wanna continue to work with you and work even deeper with you. And of course that means just more revenue for you. So digital products are great, they can be very simple to create. Again, you have to reverse engineer from the problem that you're solving, and if there happens to be other digital products that are similar, you'll want to make sure you put your own spin or twist or voice on top of it, something that makes it unique to the way that you teach, perhaps a framework that you have that you've made your own. Inject that into these digital products so that they are specifically yours, and it can be a great way to start, again, to feed the machine. So here we go. Community. Now, community is a big one. It is not easy to generate a community, but the reason why it's here in the S tier is because community is the future of business. We changed our business model at SPI from online courses to community about 3 to 4 years ago, and it's been an absolute game changer. Not just because we're generating some recurring revenue instead of just one-off revenue from our online courses, but more so because we have people who continually show up and not just are getting value from what it is that we're offering in there, but they're there to offer and share value with each other. And as a beginner, you do not need hundreds or even dozens of people to form a very strong community. You just need a few people, a handful of people to come in and work together that can come in, you can serve them, you can use cohort-based learning to run through your courses, your frameworks, your teaching, your coaching. And not only are people enjoying getting things from you, they're enjoying feeling like they're a part of something where they belong. And this is where it starts, because 5 people can turn into 10, can turn into 20, can turn into 40, 80, etc. There is exponential growth that happens when you build a community where people feel safe, where people feel they get value that they cannot get anywhere else, where they feel heard, where they feel like they found their people. You can step up and, even with a small group, create that now. And so I hope this helps you. And if you want to join a community of like-minded entrepreneurs like you, speaking of community, head on over to smartpassiveincome.com/community. And we'd love to see you there. There's a lot of different ways to get involved, and we'd love to help you out, and so would the other community members as well, because like I said, that's exactly what it's about. So my best advice for you at this stage, pick the one business model that works for you, that you feel that you would have the most energy for, or maybe is the best opportunity, and find one person to help. Just one. Start with one. Because when you get through that, it's going to unlock that confidence to get more and perhaps expand into some other ones that may make more sense for you down the road. So best of luck to you. Be sure to subscribe, because we got a lot of great content coming your way, especially for those of you who are just getting started online. There's no better time than now to get started, and we're here to help. So thank you so much for watching. My name's Pat Flynn, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.